Tinkercad is an online, cloud-based, computer-aided design solution for beginners. It is very easy to learn, and all it requires you to have is an internet browser and an Autodesk account. To start using Tinkercad, navigate to tinkercad.com. You can then log in or sign up for your Autodesk account. If you have your Autodesk account details already, you can log in by clicking this link here. If you are a student, you can log in with a class code or a student account. Today I will be logging in with an educator account. Once you sign in, you'll see your designs page. As Tinkercad is an online cloud-based service, everything that you make will be saved in the cloud and is accessible in this space here. Tinkercad has a 3D design section and also has a circuit section along with a code blocks section. Today we'll be looking only at 3D designs. To make a new design, click the plus button here and choose 3D design. Your browser will then load up the Tinkercad work environment. Tinkercad automatically assigns names randomly to your file. To change that name, click up here and type a new name. Tinkercad is a very simple environment. It has a few main places on the screen. The first one, and the most obvious one, is the work plane here. This is where you will build all of your 3D models. The second main one is the basic shapes menu over here. This is where you will find your primitives that you can drag and drop onto the work plane. Lastly, there is the views section here, which has a range of features and button presses that you can use to orient your view in different ways. Let's get started by dragging a cube onto the screen. When you drag a box onto the screen, you can place it on the work plane, and if you rotate your view, you'll see that it has based the work straight onto the plane, or directly onto the plane. You can click on the properties box over here to change the color. And to change the box from a solid to a hole. For now, we're going to leave this as a solid. I will explain the hole option later on. You can also change some of the properties of the object by sliding these adjustable sliders here. You can double click in those fields to change the values. I'm going to change the values to 50 by 50 and the height also by 50. If you find yourself not seeing all of the object on the screen, you can fit it all to the screen by clicking here, and it will reorient the screen for you. Along with being able to rotate the views using the little view cube up on the top left, right click your mouse and move it around to reorient the view. You can roll the scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and if any time you get lost, you can just click the home view and you'll be returned to this view here. If you hover over any of these points, these are editable points, and you can see when you hover there, your dimensions come up. If you want to change these dimensions, all you need to do is click and type in a new dimension, and you can change those. In Tinkercad, it's as easy as this to draw a cube. Let's look at how we can turn this cube into an empty box. I'm dragging a primitive shape from the primitives menu onto the screen, and I'm going to overlap that with the box that we drew in the last step. We want the hole to be in the top so that we can look inside the box. In order to manipulate its position in space, we can use these arrows here. This arrow lifts it up and down. There is also rotate and resize. What we would like to do is position this shape so that it is in the center of the main cube. Pressing the Shift key and selecting and clicking to select both items at once, you will enable the Align tool. The Align tool can be used to align both items to each other around a certain space, and these tabs here indicate where that space is. For example, if I click this space, it will align the whole or the second object with the first object about the center of that line. Same again for this dimension here. As you can see, when we clicked that, it has now aligned that box in the center of the cube. If we click this align here, this will place the empty space or the hole in the middle of the cube. In this case, we don't want to do that. In this case, we want to cut this hole out of the cube. We do need to have part of this hole protruding from the top of the cube, so we won't align the third axis. Instead, what we'll do is single select the cube again and manipulate its size using the arrows. Just take note that you may end up positioning this hole away from the center again. And in order to get it correctly in the center, you may need to use the Align tool again. So we do that again by holding the Shift key and selecting the two items that we want to align. Once again, using the tabs here to center the hole in the middle of the cube. If you hold the Shift key and click both of those items, you can now group the items together, and this will create a box. At any point in time, if you want to change something you have done, you can select a group using the mouse button and hit the ungroup symbol up here, and it will revert to the shape that was used to design it beforehand. That's about all you need to know for now to get started with Tinkercad. Now it's over to you to see what you can design using a variety of primitive shapes and holes. Enjoy.